Well, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, and good morning, everybody. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to another episode of The Morning Glow. Welcome to another episode of The Morning Glow. Got a great broadcast lineup for you this morning, as I hope and I pray we always do. As I hope and I pray that we always do. Got a couple of things we're going to talk about this morning, and our topic for the day is going to be absolutely amazing. The topic today is going to be absolutely amazing. We're going to pull back a lot of layers and hopefully shine some light and identify a lot of the individuals including myself, that's with us on a daily basis here on the Morning Glow. Now, the phone lines are open 508-924-3521, 508-924-3521. Give us a call. We love to have your input. Again, 508-924-3521. The phone lines are open and we're waiting on you. See, the phone lines are open and somebody called in already. We already got a caller. Captain Leonard, good morning. How you doing this morning?
What's up, Raheem? As soon as I get this computer going, I'll come on the video side in a minute.
Okay, good deal. Captain Leonard, I got a question for you on this morning. And
Sure.
you know, this is not our topic for today. We always start off with something a little different. But I got something hit me this morning. I was in my way. You know, sometimes something hits you and you say, that's a pretty good question. That's a pretty good dang on question right there. That's a pretty good question, now, boy. That's a good question right there, boy. That's what do you say to yourself, you know? I said it to myself this morning, Leonard. But my my question is this though. If you could take somebody, you know, you go in the house and somebody got some stuff in the house that's not right, and you take it and you throw it away and you put it somewhere else, take it away from them, right? Because it's not doing them
From
any
their
good.
house?
Yeah. You going to
Okay.
and you take they say, man, this thing, or they give you permission. Let's be generous and kind. They give you permission. They say, look at here, man, that thing it ain't doing me no good, man. If you can take that thing, take it away from here, man. Get it out of here. You say, okay, I throw it away for you. On my way out, I throw it away, and you do it. Now, what would happen if you could take somebody's misery away from them? Where would you put it?
And let me see.
Come on now, handle it. I threw it to you. I ain't even throw it fast, but I threw it underhanded. I like a softball pitch. So you should be able to knock this out the park, brother. Come on.
I believe the misery is so personal,
Mm-hmm. Wow.
and
Wow.
I'm the type of person. There's probably a better word for misery
Mm-hmm.
in this situation because you cannot take that person's misery away.
Mm-hmm.
They have to let that misery go.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's,
Wow.
it's not something you can take away from a person.
Mm-hmm. And I'm gonna pull another layer back on this thing for you this morning. The reason why this came to it because I understand where we are right now in the year. I understand where we are in the world today, man. This season, especially these next few days, Leonard, it's gonna be rough on a lot of people, man. It's gonna be rough on a lot of people, and they're going to deal with certain things that maybe they won't even a voice to you. But if you know people, if you know your surrounding, you know your family, your friends, like I hope you do, you could recognize something is off. Something is off. Something ain't right. And they could be living in that place of misery, pain, hurt, because there's a lot of that during this Christmas season, during these holiday seasons. There's a lot of suffering going on out there, man. There's a lot of suffering, and that's pretty much the basis of the question. What will you do with their misery? How do you deal with it?
Well, it depends on subjectively. I'm not a misery type person, but that doesn't mean that I don't have those feelings.
Mm-hmm.
However, I do believe that a lot of misery is a choice
Mm.
to make. There's a choice to make.
What if a part of that is
Now, one type of person,
mm-hmm.
if you want to continue
Mm-hmm.
to feel the way you feel, I'm going to let you
Mm-hmm.
because that's what you want to do.
Mm-hmm.
Misery, as they say, the old saying, loves company,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
because misery, to me, it's not wrong, but it is to be avoided, and it's going to take a lot of personal work.
Mm-hmm.
No one can take your miseries away unless you want them to.
Mm-hmm. Mm.
The moment you decide that you no longer want to be miserable,
Mm-hmm.
you will stop being miserable.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Let me go. We got
But you have
go.
to
No,
make that decision.
exactly. Exactly. Let me go to Cassandra. Go get Cassandra with us this morning as well. And I know she, like yourself, deal with a lot of people, man, in what you all do. But she deal with them a lot on the counseling side. So Cassandra, good morning. How you doing this morning?
Good morning.
Cassandra, I'm asking a question this morning, and the question is a different kind of question. It is, I ask those sometimes. But if you could go in somebody's house and they give you permission to take something out of their house that's caused them heartache, pain, or whatever it is, and you say, okay, I take it, I discard it, I'm going out anyway, I throw it away, okay, and you decide to do that because that's your friend, that's your family, your friend, whatever the case. Now, what if you could take their misery away, Cassandra? What would you put it?
Hmm. Where would I put it? Well,
Tell you why I'm saying it, and the reason
I
that.
send it back.
Mhm.
Go ahead.
the the
Go
the,
ahead.
the
Go
reason
ahead.
the reason why I'm saying that because much like I do, this is a very trying time. This season is a very trying time for a lot of people, suicides and all kind of misery and all kind of pain that a lot of people go through. And sometimes, and a lot of times they're not gonna say anything to you, but you have to pay attention and you have to see, okay, something is off with you today. Something is off for you right now. What is really going on? And so a lot of them are going through in a place of misery, hurt, and whatever. It could be because of a loved one. They lost a loved one during this time of the year, or some people just sad during Christmas time for whatever reason. So, Cassandra, how would you deal with that? How would you deal with that misery?
Unfortunately, or fortunately, I'm going to be in a vein sort of like what Leonard said, but it's, getting rid of misery is something that is a process for most people. You just don't, it, you just can't, well, you can say it, but it ain't like that.
Mm-hmm.
People just don't walk away from misery. It's not that easy. If it was that easy, people would not be nobody. Well, you got some people that's mentally ill that may want to be miserable, and I won't even say that because mentally ill people don't want to be mentally ill.
Mm-hmm.
But you just can't. It doesn't happen like that.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's something that is causing that distress,
Mm-hmm.
and you got to deal with that issue, and that is a process. And so I never tell people well, that's like telling people to get over it
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
me.
Yeah.
And I never tell people to just get over it because that's not right. It's not fair, and it's not even reasonable to tell somebody to get over it.
Mm-hmm.
So my process would be to help them go through the process, figuring out what is making them so miserable, and how do we resolve that? How
Mm-hmm.
do we resolve that? How do we help them get through that?
Mm. And that process could be very difficult, and at times almost impossible. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, and it's different. It's different for different people. Some people you can work through a process of them, you know, being healed because that's what I call it from
Mm-hmm.
misery
Mm-hmm.
is being healed.
Mm-hmm.
From whatever that thing is. And it is difficult for some people. Like when people lose somebody, let me tell you something. I know people that are grieving now. It's 5, 10 years later, and they still. I mean, I'm not talking about just grieving because you never stop missing that person, but
Mm-hmm.
I'm talking about they are immersed
Mm.
in their grief and it's overwhelming them. And that to me is extremely dangerous. And
Mm-hmm.
you need to try to figure out how to get away from it because it's destroying you emotionally,
Mm-hmm.
spiritually, and especially physically, believe it or not.
Yeah, yeah. And Leonard, and sometimes, man, like you said, it could be 5, 10, 15, maybe 20 years, man, and they're still holding on to that hurt. And you can't tell a person that, just get over, the person is gone, just, let it go. To me, that's so insensitive to even utter some words like that. But what do you do, man? You every year, 5 years, 10 years, every year during this time, you go through this deep depression, and I'm getting tired of having to help you fight through it. What do you do?
I'm switching over right here. Hold on.
Okay, got you.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we got you
There we
good.
go. There we go. Okay.
Mhm.
It's partly related to certain things. And as
Mhm.
Miss Cassandra pointed out, that is pretty much the way I believe it. And people don't like to be told to get over it, but that's
Mhm.
what you must do. Those
Mhm.
who refuse won't get over it, and they could possibly be sealing their own fate.
Mhm.
So whether I'm not into whether you like what I say or not, never have been into that. The
Mhm.
fact of the matter is, this is what you must do. If you do not do it, this will not happen.
Mhm.
I'm gonna put it in common terms. Get
Mhm.
your together.
Mhm.
Now you all can sit around and be miserable. That's why that saying came about. Misery loves company.
Mhm. Mhm.
So I'm not gonna let. I can choose to be miserable. I really can,
Mhm.
but I'm practicing not being miserable
Yeah. Yeah.
because that's the work that's necessary. I can't wait till I'm ready to jump off a cliff.
Mhm.
I've gotten to the point I can see misery coming. I don't want to have nothing to do with it.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
I get into that state where when I see the valley,
Mhm.
but I'll fear no evil.
Yeah. Yeah.
So dealing with the issues I've been dealing with or what have you is the reason why I respond the way I respond to a lot of things.
Mhm.
If you want to be miserable,
You can.
trust me,
Mhm.
it is in misery's best interest,
Mhm.
not yours. And you must look at misery that's something that should be separate from you.
Is it a choice, Leonard?
It's a choice to get out. I don't care how you got there. The fact
Mhm.
of the matter is, if you're miserable because a person died, what you gonna do? Because they're gonna always be dead.
Mhm.
So you choose this day what you are going to do. If you never choose to move on, you never will.
Mhm.
Just period. It does not matter what it is. Where do you want to be?
Mm.
You must always change situations into that observation. What do you
Mhm.
want out of this? What do you want? Are you the type of person that just let any spirit possess your body?
Mm.
Any spirit can just possess you this way?
Mm.
I mean, some people are like that. That's why when people say, "Oh, I ain't religious, I'm spiritual." Which one?
Yeah. Which one are you talking about? Exactly.
Which one?
Mhm.
So you have to be very careful. And this is why people wind up in those situations because the spirit is vexed.
Mhm.
And if the spirit is not tended to and it's not taken care of, it will fail you. You
Mhm.
will fail yourself. And I don't think you want to do that. I don't like for people to set themselves up
Mhm.
for unfortunate events and things of that nature. Sadness, grief, natural.
Mhm.
Misery. You got to fight misery.
Mhm.
You can't give up because misery will consume you.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
once that spirit finishes with you, you'll be dead.
Mhm. Then someone will be grieving over you. Got another caller. Caller, what's your name? Where you calling from? Caller.
Good morning.
Good morning, young lady. How you doing this morning?
I'm I'm doing all right this morning. I woke up early, so.
That's good. Good to have you. I'm trying to figure out how did you get 2 lines? You got 2 lines. I'm trying to figure out how that happened. Like you got 2 lines.
Extra special guest.
Huh?
Extra special guest.
Oh, that's what it is. Okay, extra special guest. Okay,
Mhm.
we're talking about misery today. We're talking about misery today. And if you could take away somebody's misery, where would you put it? Because this time right here of this year, a lot of time people go through some deep depression and deep moments during this season. Suicides, all kind of different things that they go through. What would you do if you could take somebody's misery away? Where would you put it? And how do you deal with a person that's miserable because of grieving, if you will?
Because they're grieving.
Yes, because but my thing is they've been grieving for 5, 10, 15, 20 years over the same situation. And every December the 23rd, 25th, 20, whatever it is, they go in that deep depression. How do you deal with that?
That's not on me to do it.
Mm-hmm.
That's between them and God. I don't know what to tell them. Yeah, that's not on me. That's them problem. I can just pray for them. I can't take anyone's misery away. Tell them how to deal with it. How you deal with your grief is gonna be different how I deal with mine. So
So yeah.
I would just be there if they needed me to be there, and other than that, that's their business.
Okay, that's good. That's good. Tucson, good morning. How you doing this morning? Excuse me.
Doing well. How about yourself? Good morning.
Hey, doing good. You heard the conversation, brother. How do you deal with it? How do you deal with an individual that's like that?
We all like that.
To some degree.
All you got to do is have your chance. I mean, that's a sticky situation. I mean, people handle things differently.
Yeah.
I guess that's why you got the strong bear the infirmities of the weak. I remember what today's date is.
23rd.
23rd.
Yes.
I remember, and I was trying to find the date. About 10, maybe 12 years ago, maybe between that time and another, we were all deciding that we was going to have a Christmas get together. I think my dad was about 87, still a little mobile. And we had planned on gathering here for Christmas, all the family. And Dad didn't feel well. He said, I don't think I'm going to make it. But still had planned on whether we had to go get him or whatever it took to get him there. I remember about a year ago, probably, there was an ice storm. Remember that ice storm that circled through Texas? And it was real rough. I'm just trying to tell you about some things, okay?
Go ahead.
That when we talk about grieving and how people handle things, those two times I'm talking about, because a year ago, probably about that time, during that ice storm, I had to travel to California because what I thought during the Christmas season that I needed to get all my family together because I am getting old. 5 kids, 12 grandchildren. And we did that. Everybody gathered. We took our vaccination shots and all that stuff to make sure. Just give me a minute.
Yeah, go ahead.
Grieving.
Yes, sir. Okay. Yes, sir.
And we gathered. So the old man thought, I need to see all my grandchildren before I leave here. I think it was about a little while later. I'm at work and I receive a call that the youngest one of the bunch didn't wake up that morning.
Mm.
18-month old. Talk about grieving.
Yes, sir.
Okay. How
Mhm.
people deal with stuff. And I just wanted to just lay that on the table.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
My son, remember, about a month or so ago, he was supposed to be made chief in the Navy.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
so he had, when you get to I think Mary's in the Navy.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
When you make chief, you got to get all your stuff together, your family portraits. I'm sorry to take so much time, but you talk about
Go ahead.
grieving.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So he was gathering all of his stuff to try to get some things to present, or whatever he had to do to get the chief thing together, whatever the case may be. He dropped a photo of his daughter
Mm.
that passed away and fell apart.
Mm.
Okay.
Mm.
So this conversation I can talk all day long. But so what do?
Mm-hmm.
I find me a place and I stay there, a place of comfort
Mm-hmm.
that I can share with others, that hey, you can make it through these incidents, because like I was talking about 10, 12 years ago, my daddy didn't make the gathering because he tried to get out of bed and fell. That was it.
Mm.
My daughter calls me at 4 o'clock in the morning, and I had to comfort her for my
Mm-hmm.
dad.
Yeah. Mm.
So when you talk about this season and how people go through things, you never know. You
Mm-hmm.
never know. But find you a place of
That's good. That's good.
the good times.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you think about that particular time, you'll
Mm-hmm.
never get over it. But you find and you share those good moments that you have, and
Mm-hmm.
you can't move on, because I promise you, they repeat themselves.
Mm-hmm. Wow. That's good. That's good. Cassandra, I have to come to you right now and ask you this question. Much like a pastor, a minister, or somebody in that that role, or an important role in people's lives, how do you grieve? How do you grieve when you're always confident in somebody else? And like Toussaint said, it was his dad. He had to help his sister through her grieving moment for his dad. Is his dad too? He may be grieving at the same time, but he have to be there for his sister to help his sister through her grieving moment. What do you do with your own?
Yeah, that's a great question, and it's hard. It really is, because when you're always used to being that comfort, that person that people lean on, and I do it on a daily basis for people, that are experiencing some type of it can be extremely draining. But what I have to do, what I've learned to do over the years, is use the word of God. He says, cast your cares upon him.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So anytime that I'm feeling overwhelmed by dealing with other people's grief, even as I'm dealing right now with the grief of the loss of my nephew, which
Mm-hmm.
was very personal to me
Mm-hmm.
because of the way it happened, because
Yes.
I was one of the last people that he contacted before he went, to the hospital and killed by police.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So that thing right there is still bothering me, and I'm praying, I'm asking God to help me, but there's a deep wound there, but it's
Mm-hmm.
a wound that is pushing me to do something.
Mm-hmm.
My
Mm.
grief is pushing me to do something positive, to make sure that another family might not go through what my family is going through right now. So
Mm-hmm.
I have to lean on God, because I could not do it on my own. And it's easier said than done, because don't let
Absolutely.
me make that sound all deep
Mm.
and spiritual.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
It's easier said than done because even though I know God, I know His Word,
Come on.
it is hard
Yes.
dealing with grief. So I don't ever pretend like, oh yeah, we just pray and no, I ain't gonna be putting people in that position. You
Mm-hmm.
may pray about it and it don't get better
Mm-hmm.
right then,
Yeah. Yeah.
but you got to keep trusting God.
Mm-hmm. That's good. That's good. Mary, what's on your heart right now?
Nothing at the moment, just listening along, really.
Okay. Okay. Leonard, a lot of times people we want, especially and I'm gonna say it this way, especially as men, we feel as though we have to be strong, we have to be macho, we have to be that the strength that everybody needs. How important is that we have our moment? Like Tucson said, find that place. Sometime in that place, man, you got to go to that place by yourself and just let it go and just cry. Is that weakness?
No, I don't think that's. Yes, yes, it is. Yes, that's the human part of you.
Mm-hmm.
This is why I believe, and it's difficult, but it's almost just like Miss Cassandra was explaining. And that's why I look at it the way I look at it. So what are you
Mm-hmm.
going to do?
Mm-hmm.
I'm a very practical person.
Mm-hmm.
So exactly what Miss Cassandra was mentioning, I have to go get myself better. Whether
Mm-hmm.
it's in a closet, whether it's on a mountain, there's next to a stream, whether it's in meditation, what have you,
Mm-hmm.
you got to repair or you will remain broken.
Yeah.
Even when I have felt my worst, I have prayed and laid my burdens on the altar and moved on. And moved
Mm-hmm.
on. That's what I choose to do.
Mm-hmm.
It's always my choice. I could have balled up and died many of times just from the pain alone. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to suffer this way with
Let me ask you something.
another person. Excuse me.
Man, and I, I just want to ask this question, man, because I know you and I know what it is, but I'm asking this question for the listeners. Um, is that a form of strength to go and just lay it down and be done with it? Is that a form of strength or is it a form of escape?
No, it's a practice.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it is. It's a practice. The reason
Mm-hmm.
why some people cannot get out of their situation is because they are lacking something. If
Mm-hmm.
you had the opportunity to give up your misery, would you?
Absolutely. Hopefully.
Okay, then do that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care how crazy it may seem to anyone.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Oh, your mother just died or whatever. But see, I still have to live.
Mm-hmm.
My misery changes nothing about my mother's situation.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like that. What am I going to do about it? Because their facts are my mother will always be dead.
Mm-hmm.
So now do I take my life and die
Mm-hmm.
with her?
Mm. Okay. That's
These
good.
are these are the challenging things. But I
Mm-hmm.
believe in challenging these evils, these different spirits that come along as being a human being. And I'm
Mm-hmm.
not going to hang my head this way. Like I say, I tell two people, set aside a time to grieve.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you can start to practice now, no matter what happens, if someone dies, I will only allow myself to grieve 7 days.
Mm-hmm.
There's some people in their religions and cultures have a period of mourning. And after that period of mourning, to constantly be using that to destroy your living, it's not a good thing.
Mm.
You mourn for a certain period of time. Dedicate time to it because one thing you do, people gonna die every day. I was at a funeral the other day,
Mm-hmm.
yesterday, which is the reason why I wasn't on the show.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a good cousin. I mean, just I can't remember. We've never had a bad time together. It was always a great time. And I am going to miss him dearly,
Mm-hmm.
but he's dead. And I
Mm-hmm.
can't live as if he's still here. I can't pretend as if me and him are going to hang out again.
Mm-hmm.
So if these things are not possible, it makes no sense for me to lament over them for the rest of my life.
Mm-hmm.
And then, you know, letting my guard down, actually going out to this type of function. It wasn't soon after we were talking to family thing, we get a call that the one that left has COVID.
Mm.
Okay?
Mm. Wow.
Anxiety
Mm-hmm.
immediately. I don't talk to people because I'm such a strong person. I talk to people from the point of view, this is what I'm doing.
Mm-hmm.
I am very depressed at certain times,
Mm-hmm.
but it has its place, and it is not going to govern my entire life.
That's good. That's
But I
good.
have to deal with it.
Mm-hmm. And we all have, and we all have different ways of doing such. And I agree with you wholeheartedly with that. Toussaint, what's on your heart, brother?
I'm still looking and forgot. Well, I didn't forget,
Mm-hmm.
but I overlooked the fact that I had a brother that we were like this. Matter of fact,
Mm-hmm.
he was the type of guy that'll kick your door down.
Mm-hmm.
And so they had to come get him, and the police would give custody to me
Mm-hmm.
and tell me to take him home.
Mm-hmm.
Take the handcuffs off. Officer, just let me have him.
Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
He was an older brother, a few
Mm-hmm.
years, but he during this season. And so I say, I watch how uh, during this season, some of my relatives they post memorials,
Mm-hmm.
and you hear comments, "Oh, that's such a good picture." No such thing.
Mm-hmm.
There's when it comes to that him,
Yeah.
because we were like this.
Mm-hmm.
What he did, I tried to do. If it was good or bad, what he
Mm-hmm.
did, I tried
Yeah.
to do.
Mm-hmm.
Most of I remember when he would this dude was so fast he was in the state track meet,
Mm-hmm.
and he broke his toe coming out of the blocks,
Mm. Good Lord.
coming out that quick.
Mm-hmm.
But I ran track so that because he ran track.
Mm-hmm.
That's where I got with some of the things. But what I'm saying is this season was that around that time
Mm-hmm.
that he was supposed to pick up his lady from work. They lived about a few blocks from the house. And when she called him to come get her,
Mm-hmm.
he didn't show up. So working around the block from the house, she walked home.
Mm-hmm.
Come back home, he on the floor. That's it.
Mm.
My sister calls me. She says, they trying to revive Nate,
Mm.
and she called me 15 minutes later and says he gone.
Mm.
And I said, wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute.
Yeah. Yeah.
You
Yeah.
trying to tell me Nate gone?
Mm-hmm.
When you can, okay. So now when you talk about grief and you talk about how people deal with it, I'm pretty sure that by now the things that I've been talking about, you can hear it.
Yes, sir.
You don't see no
Mhm.
tears.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
There probably are some there,
Mm-hmm.
but they're not physical. But
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure they point out. So when you talk about how to deal with stuff, I can't answer that. That's a people say, well, you shouldn't cry. You should do this. Well, you should have been okay, all right. Keep on saying good morning.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I suggest to somebody. Keep saying good morning, because it might not be the right person or the wrong person or whatever the case may be, because every one of them, dad, mom, brother, granddaughter, are different. And I can't relate one with the other because they're different. There's a different relationship. But what I do is I know that we got to leave here.
Yeah.
Here's what it says. Man that is born of a woman is of a few days and full of trouble. Dude, I'm so glad this child, I got a new grandbaby, I got a new child. I'm so happy. You happy about them coming to all of this mess? We got this thing backwards. Because we cry we should be crying when they come in here.
Yep.
And joyous when they leave. Because
And,
I know I don't have to lend nobody no money. I don't have to go see my dad. I don't have to check on him. He don't have no heart attacks. He don't have no strokes anymore. I don't have to tote him around. Some of the things we wish for people is not for them. It's for us.
So basically, what I'm hearing you say is we could be very selfish sometimes.
Yes, sir. Without realizing it.
Yeah, I know. And in some African cultures, man, they say it's like that. They cry at births and rejoice when someone go home to glory. Yeah, and they say it's done that way. Got a couple of calls on the line. Everybody, hold on. We're gonna definitely get to you. My next caller that came on was Toya with the T. Good morning. How you doing this morning?
Good morning. How you doing?
Hey, doing good. Toya, asking a question this morning. If you could take somebody's, if you could take away somebody's mourning, somebody's grief, somebody's misery, if you will, if you could take away their misery, where would you put it? And the reason why this question is out here, because this season, there's a lot of people that go through a lot of hard times during this particular season right now. And they're not gonna come up to you and tell you that I'm miserable. I'm going through HE hockey sticks. They're not gonna tell you that. But
some people do. Some people do.
Yeah.
Some people wear it. Most miserable people wear it. Most miserable people are not quiet about it. That's depression. That's the difference. The one thing about being a human, you need all emotions. Keep your misery. We ain't taking it, putting it nowhere. You need to put it into that yourself. Don't be passing it around. It's contagious. It's a spirit. So no, some people need to keep their misery because that is something that you need to fight on your own, right? You don't have to be miserable. Jesus died for you not to be miserable. So if you walk around in anything because you don't want to identify or face the facts or the truth, it's because you're holding on to it. Been there, done that, Raheem. Oh yeah, what kind of misery do you go through after being touched by uncle?
Come on.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
By being raped. You understand what I'm saying? So again, you have to let go of those things, right? There's nothing nobody can do. Nobody can take away misery, right? That is a choice. You have to let go. They say let go, let God, right? Because we want to get trapped in our minds. And we'll use this for an example. I'm miserable because, when Christmas time, we had a fire. My people got caught up in the fire. And I get it. I had a aunt that got trapped in a club fire in New York in the late 80s. And I get it, right? But one thing I've always also been able to get that is we are God's first. And when people leave here, you're going on with him. Right?
Yes.
The only misery you can't get over is knowing that you went to hell. But even that's kind of out control. Even that, at some point, I have to say, I'm gone. I'm not going to do that. My dad, he drank himself right on dead. And of course, it was really hard. I know he went through a lot. I know he had to deal with what I went through. I know he did with his wife leaving them years ago and some of the mistakes that he made. But he gone because he did not let go. He didn't give himself an opportunity to believe that everything God said. And just because, you know what, you're right. You're not supposed to get a divorce, but God loves you anyway. You're not supposed to go through something, but God loves you anyway. So we all have a choice, and it's just like me, right? My misery almost took me out of here. It had me depressed. It had me suicidal. It had me all that. But God gave me an opportunity and said, listen, I know you went through that, and I'm sorry, but you're still here. Can you still make it? And you got an opportunity because none of that stopped you now. So what do you want to do with life next? And I had to make a choice. Either I'm going to live in misery for another 20-something years at 40, and I don't want to do that, Lord. I don't want to feel the same way
Yes,
that I felt these last 20. So what am I going to do? And I had to let go. So yeah, no, we're not going to take nobody's misery and place it nowhere. We're going to teach them how to deal with it, how to get over it, and how to become better.
That's good. That's good. And man, look, Toy, you hit something. You put something out there right there, man. I definitely appreciate that. We got another caller. Let me go to that caller. Caller, what's your name? Where you calling from?
You must be talking about me right here.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Good morning, Kurt. How you doing this morning?
Chilling, calling y'all from Charm City.
Yes, sir. Kurt, I need to ask you the question, brother. How do we misery? How do we deal with someone else's misery? It's been 5, 10, 15, 20 years, and every year during the same time they go through that same process of misery. How do we deal with that, Kurt? How do we help them? Do we help them, or that's something they got to do on their own?
Well, I mean, we can put up all we can, but I think Toya just hit on one of the keyest points of that should be done if a person truly want to get past whatever misery that is. What Toya just talked about in clinical circles is being open and honest with yourself and the situation at hand. A lot of people find it comforting to be miserable. It has become a normal circumstance. So it's a normal feeling. So any kind of feeling that is not of that feels uncomfortable. It's not, you know what I mean? It's something's wrong. So a lot of times you could be working with somebody or trying to move through your misery, and then what you'll do is you'll self-sabotage. You see what I'm saying? Because now you're kind of in an uncomfortable position, if that makes sense. Because that's not a normal feeling that you like to have. Now you have others who do what in certain circles we call it victim stancing. Right? And when you look at victim stancing is really solely to get the result of getting attention. Right? Or some of us older folks, we used to love to say, oh, woe is me. Or this person is on a soapbox. Right? And that can be detrimental all by itself, especially when you got people sitting around who continues to feed that behavior, but it's a hard thing to do because most people don't want to exist in their truth. Like what Toya was just saying is Toya has analyzed, she has put herself through, okay, what is true and what is false? How much of this did I have control over, and how much of this didn't I have control over? And being as though I had no control over it, why am I beating myself up about it? Because the truth is A, B, C, and D. She talked about her father, and this time of season, it's always hard. I'm not gonna say hard, but it's a pill that I deal with, as well as my oldest boy, because my father died the day after Christmas. of 2013. But one of the ways that I've dealt with it is just like Toya. Hey, my father, he drank his life away. You know what I mean? He indulged in things that 9 times out of 10 was going to take him out of here early anyway. I find solace in the fact that, you know, my daddy was a daddy, man. I don't know how to, man, he just didn't get it. I love him to death. He didn't get it. But the one thing he did get was that he promised my oldest boy that he would not leave here for his birthday. My oldest boy's birthday is on Christmas. He promised him, he said, I'm not leaving on your birthday. If you can get here, I understand, but if you can't, I love you anyway. But I will not leave here on your birthday. I'll talk to you on your birthday. So he owned up to his promise. He didn't leave on his birthday. He talked to him. You know what I mean? Wished him a happy birthday, Merry Christmas. And then the next day he closed his eyes and left. You know, so, you know, sometimes most times, God has a tendency to take a crooked road and make it straight.
Absolutely.
You know, so, you know, anything outside of that, man, like, you know, people who want to live in their misery, only thing you can really do, Raheem, is to try your best to get them to exist and to adjust into their own truths. And if they're not willing to do that, then, you know what? I mean, what can you do? You gotta let, I hate to say it, but you let them, oh my God, look at the line for coke. Lord have mercy. Other than that, bro, like, what can you say? What can you do? I mean,
yeah, exactly. That's good.
If they don't want to face the truth of what the situation is, you know, then they're gonna stay in that misery. That's just what it is.
Absolutely. Cassandra, what's on your heart?
Yeah, you know, I remember we just have to really try to listen and pay attention to people that are experiencing grief or in misery for whatever their particular situation is. I've told this story before. When I was managing stores, there was a lady that worked in the store right across in front of mine, and we would see each other every morning. We would have breakfast sometimes together, and her 17-year-old son shot himself. And she just kept, when she came back, she was gone for a couple of weeks. When she came back, she just kept saying every morning we would see that. She said, I can't live without my son. I just can't. I can't do this. I mean, she was in a lot of pain, and, you know, me and a few of the other managers, you know, we would try to, you know, talk to her, listen, you know, go to counseling, you know, get your past, you know what I'm saying? Trying to encourage her to do something. And so maybe a month went by, and she had 2 other children. And she went home one night after closing her store, went in her bedroom, closed the door with her other 2 children there, and killed herself. I mean, can you imagine the pain that her children? Okay, so you loved him more than you loved us. You didn't want to live to be here for us, to help us to get through this, and we all coming through it together. And this thing hurt me. I'll never forget. This thing hurt me so bad because in your head you keep thinking, is there something more I could have said? Is there something more I could have done? But when people are in that, and God knows I don't judge people for their pain. When people, nobody knows what your pain is but you, and to what extent you're damaged from a loss or whatever is going on. And real quickly, while we were here I just read online that a 10-year-old girl in Utah, a low black girl, killed herself because of being bullied. Can you imagine a 10
Yeah.
10 years old committed suicide?
Mm.
Beautiful child because she was being bullied.
Mm.
What kind of misery does a 10-year-old, what could she have been feeling that made her feel like life was not worth living?
Mm-hmm.
Come on, y'all. It's some serious stuff going on out here. And we have to pay attention.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Toya with a T, talk to me, sis. Tucson coming to you next. Toya, Toya, you there? Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay.
You know, like I was saying earlier, right? And now nigga do unless you buy your uncle that's deep. Trust me and believe. So I can imagine, you understand, how some of these kids feel youngly, not wanting to be here, right? Even if your parents don't know, because my daddy didn't know, right? Because we don't want what's next. But the pain of that, if you don't ever get past it, if you don't ever learn how to understand that, not only do you want to kill yourself at 10, it's going to last till you're 20 and 32, right? So I get it, even with the bullying. That's something, kids always been cruel. Listen, some of us adults are cruel.
Yeah.
Some of us adults are terrible and make us want to kill ourselves too. Just because I'm not a kid anymore, don't mean that my feelings have changed in me. You understand what I'm saying? So trust me, I understand that misery. But what I'm here to tell you is that even in that, you got to be strong. You know, and the only gratitude I can say is that my father always taught me, you don't let people dictate who you are. God already said who you are. They talked about Jesus, so you don't ever care about what nobody said about you. And all Jesus did was save people. So if they're gonna talk about him, they're gonna talk about you. You know, so when it came to bullying, like I took a fight after somebody bullied me, right? Because I knew you don't want to bully me because if you tease me, I got better roast than you, and you're gonna want to come. You know what I'm saying? So I had to have big, tough skin. I was the picky head girl. I was raised with my father. I was a picky head girl, never head girl, didn't dress up, didn't do this, didn't do that. So kids pick with me, but I knew on the inside. I really don't want that of me. I'm gonna have big problems if I don't walk away from what I'm. But again, that was a training that my father gave me. That was an expectation that he set, even though he was an alcoholic. That was another misery too. Not having my mother, that was another mystery too. Why I can't have my mother? Why he gotta be this, right? So a lot of times we don't understand the story, and sometimes when we know the story, it's like, oh, get over it. It's not that bad. Keep on worse the situation. But as a child, you don't know how to process that.
Exactly.
You don't know how to that nobody explained to you. You got to be strong. You know, people are going to tease you. Sometimes you're going to be betrayed. You know, everybody's not going to look out for you like me. You understand what I'm saying? And that's one of the things, that's a lot of the things that my father did that helped me out of my own misery and helped me mask my misery, because along with that, he also taught me to be strong, and you keep going and you don't let nothing stop you, and you're going to have a lot more challenges, and people are not going to like you just because your name is Latoya Fluker. But you do the best you can and keep going. So again, we got to encourage that, right? We can't assume that sometimes, and again, Bible, we can't assume that sometimes in our situations when you see children that go through these things, yes, the pain is real. With any suicide, old or young, but just really think deeply about how hard life got to be for you to hurt yourself, man. That's a trick of the devil. Trick of the devil.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Leonard, what's on your heart? What's on your heart,
man,
brother?
You know, I always love just to lift her up, because she just gives you the blueprint. That's what I like about Toya now. You know, when I first engaged with her, it was a little different. But man, I can tell you, I will be willing to bet my life that Toya is the voice that people who have went through what she has went through need to hear.
Absolutely.
This is how you get better, man. And you know me, I turn into an a-hole about certain things. Like yesterday, when you all were having a conversation about something, and I think I responded in the chat, right?
Yeah, you did.
And because I heard something along the fact of someone complimenting someone. and I can't remember because it was just, you know me, I'll just tell you, it's like backwards to me. And I was like, okay, why do they not want to return a positive word to someone that would give you a positive word? If I came to you and I said, I love your hair, why wouldn't you want to exchange some positive courtesy with someone? You understand?
But see, I think what we was talking about yesterday is sometimes is really not warranted. Because
No, that's the
if
thing. Okay. Stop right there. That was my point. When is a blessing not warranted?
I don't know if that's it. I think you tying them together. If it was, I go to somebody and they got a beautiful head of hair, and I say, man, I love your hair, man. Your hair look real good, man. That's some nice hair you got there. And they look at me, and say, man, you got good hair too.
But that would be that would be a lie.
Sometimes it is.
So you know, there's a difference when you're trying to hurt someone and someone is trying to hurt you. But I always look for the positive, because the only way to get rid of the negative energy is to replace it with positive energy. And it's not just going to happen. You have to will it to happen. Your appointment as created in God in his own image is for you to change these things. So if you don't change them, they're just going to be there. That hurt feeling is just going to be there. Toya said, in order for me to be the best that I can be, I must let these things go and not allow them to govern my character and my spirit.
Exactly.
So this is the practice of doing it. But just as I believe Mr. Toussaint said as well, why you want to keep it? I bet you I could find a reason to be miserable every single day. That's my issue. But I'm like, do I want to be like that? You know, when I say my prayers at night, I say them and I want to drift off in prayer. Because now I'm going somewhere. Even every night I'm going somewhere. Unlike some of you, you may, like I said, my thing is I want to wake up one day and feel like I have rested. You know how some people, oh, that was a great sleep. I feel so refreshed. Man, I long for that. You know what I'm saying? So I'm constantly have to practice it all the time. I don't know about anyone else, but I would love not to be able to not just think of anything. I have to practice to relax.
Wow.
I could be sitting there just doing what I usually do. Normally having regret doesn't mean that I'm unhappy or that I'm not sad about something. But I refuse to allow it to govern my presence.
Get ye behind me, Satan.
It must. I mean, that's the practice. I've been a Christian too long not to know that. So it's not that, you know, when I hear people insulting religion and all these types of things, you don't know its value. You don't know its value. And you will mess around there and trade your life for it. And then you'll be miserable. You'll be doing miserable things. You'll be constantly doing things, as my brother Kurt would say, self-sabotage.
Yep.
Many African Americans self-sabotage. I know they don't like it, but I'm not saying it so you can like it. I'm telling you the truth. Because you got a lot of people around here talking about my truth. Your truth is a lie. That's a cute way of saying you prefer the lie.
There you go. Good deal. Let me go to Charles. Good morning, Charles. How you doing? How you doing this morning? Charles, you there? Oh, as soon as I go to him, we lose him. Let me go to Kurt. What's on your heart, brother? Talk to me.
What's up, brother? I'm sorry. Can you hear me?
Oh yeah, there you go. There you go. Hold on, I'm gonna come right back. I just went to Kurt. Let me go back to Kurt. I'll come right back to you, brother. Give me 1 second. Kurt, what's on your heart, brother?
I mean, we also have to account for the misery that we have accepted that is caused you know, the stimuli of misery. I ain't gonna say it's cause because you have a choice to either take it or don't. But we also have to consider, especially when you think about the 10-year-old girl, which is sad, man. I'm so glad. Man, I don't even want to say I'm so glad, but man, can you imagine if that would have been one of your daughters? Would we even be having a conversation right now?
No.
You know what I mean? But the misery that is brought on by other folk, that is perpetuated by other folk, and that is enjoyed. Notice I said enjoyed by other sick-minded people. That's what's really sad. And they're not getting any accountability. I saw last night, I don't know how many people in here watch Rachel Maddow, but Rachel Maddow did a special last night about a lady right down. I'm pretty sure Cassandra probably know the lady. About a lady right down there in Georgia. I forget what county she was working in. Her last name was Freeman. I think her name is Ruby Freeman. And she was a poll worker, man. The lady worked in the elections department for 20 plus years. She had retired, 63 years old. And our guy had a gathering on January 4th where he put a video up on the Teletron screen of this lady and her daughter, who the lady wasn't even going to work the elections. Her daughter said, "Mama, why don't you let's get out the house, let's do something together, daughter, mom and daughter. And why don't you come and work the election?" So the lady agreed to go and work the election. Well, her and the daughter, he put this video up. They made a bunch of innuendos about them doing illegal activity with the ballots, all kinds of stuff. When the video just merely showed they was doing their job, right? Well, do you know that the death threats got so bad that the people who was threatening this lady started coming to this lady's house and beating on the door in all hours of the night? It got so bad that the feds had to relocate the lady, this black lady, and her daughter, and her family. And then, that don't even take the cake right here. Once they thought everything was chill, and the lady came back home, guess what happened, Raheem?
What's that?
A woman by the name of Kuti shows up to this lady's door and told this woman that in the next 48 hours, something was going to happen to her and her family members who dwelled in this dwelling if she did not come with her. So they took her to the police station and told her that they was bigwigs in the campaign and that they have got a report that something bad was going to happen to her and her family if she did not confess to voter fraud.
Wow.
Do you know what kind of traumatic experience you just put on this black lady?
Wow. That's unfortunately.
How you get past that? If she was to decide to say, from that day forward, there is nothing righteous and good about America, if she was to say that all white folks was devils, if she was to say that I do not believe anymore in any successful black people, because when they got to the police station, the Coochie lady told her that she was sent by a guy by the name of Harrison. Come to find out, Harrison was a member of the Blacks for Trump campaign. He was like one of the major brokers of the Blacks for Trump campaign. And they let her talk to Mr. Harrison, and Mr. Harrison told her the same thing Coochie told her. And the black dude that was with Coochie, he said, I don't know, I was just a driver.
Okay, go. We got to keep it moving, brother. We got to keep it moving.
Who was trying to make this lady confess.
Okay.
So,
Kurt, we got to keep it moving, brother.
Trauma,
Kurt, we got to keep it moving, brother. We got to keep it moving. You know, I got all these people just sitting here waiting, man. I got to give respect for their time as well. And that's very unfortunate that happened. I wish there was something where there is something we could do. We could come together and see what we could do to help in this situation. But back to what we're talking about the misery. Charles, good morning. How you doing this morning?
What's up, bro?
Hey, we're talking about misery. If you could go to somebody's house and take out their misery, Charles, where would you put it? And the reason why we're talking about this is in this day and time, man, being in the season that we're in right now, with this Christmas and New Year's holidays and all this stuff, there's a lot of misery going on. There's a lot of people that's suicidal or going through different elements in their life right now. What would you do with that? Or how would you combat a situation like that?
Most people what I've learned, it's always that way this time of year to me. I mean, being in the medical field, working in hospitals and things like that, it's always worse. The holiday season, loved ones are missed, people are lonely, things like that. And what I've seen, or the best way to combat it is, and probably somebody have already said this, is to speak to them. Talk to them, let them open up with you. Be that type of person that they can put their head on your shoulder. You don't judge them. You can listen, and you can just hear what they're saying. Because sometimes, well, not even just hear, but I guess one thing you can do is hear. But if you've never been through those things, you can, try to listen and let them open up. That's the main thing. Because most of them just want to open up, and have no one to open up to, or they maybe they've never had a chance to open up and don't know how to open up. Practice makes perfect in everything. If you practice on being quiet and sheltered in a shell, and every year at this time of year you get into that funk, then you're going to perfect it. So, but if you try to teach a person or guide a person or be that ear for a person or be that shoulder for a person, it does help out people, man. I've met many people, not even, through just by knowing people or other people, that speaking to them and giving them a good day, it's different. It helps them out. Matter of fact, on the news the other day, on the radio, the FedEx driver, brother who went to the door on the ring, and he said, hey, I know y'all just had a baby, and I was just checking on you. And he a FedEx driver, dropping off stuff. Yeah. He said, I was just checking on you. We just had a baby too. Hope everything is good. Hey, y'all stay blessed. And then he took off. Yeah. This cat right here actually changed the life. This lady said when she heard it, she was really in a bad way in her life. She just, postpartum depression. So once she heard that, it changed her whole, it changed her.
Yep. A kind word.
Just for this kind words. For him listening and understanding and paying attention. And the next time she saw him, or I think and he a part-time dude. So he reported that to his supervisor because it was such a great thing. The dude got hired full-time. Yeah. And then he just had a baby. So she put his registry out there. And he said himself, I wasn't looking for all that. I was just paying attention to my surroundings. And I seen the baby stuff on the yard. and I know how women can go through things, and I spoke up. And that's all we have to do at times, man. It makes a lot of sense what he did. And it makes a lot of sense that we can do those things. Like, we can do it. We got that power.
And it don't cost us nothing. And it don't cost us.
And that, son, bro, he said that too. And the lady said that too. It didn't cost him nothing. He just did it.
Exactly. Toussaint, what's on your heart, brother?
Now I'm just listening, and I would almost hate to be the person that somebody that is going through would say, I know not to go in that direction. Because depending on how a person dies, is it kind of has a level of grief. I don't know if anybody has ever seen their child murdered in front of their eyes. How you get over that? How would you get over that? How would you even? I mean, I have all my children. But how would I deal with getting a call and then with the expectations that I have with them? Then I remember there's in the book that I wrote, this lady comments, and I asked a few people to put some of their life stories in the book of how we deal with people. And she said she was, I think she was summoned. I'll have to go back to the book and read it. But she was called down the street. And when she was called down the street, she looked, and in the puddle of blood was her child. So now I'm not too bright, but I'm sure not stupid enough to I can't say you're gonna have to get over it. You're gonna have to suck that up. Now, how many times you think that on that day that she would reminisce and see that same puddle of blood with that same child in it? Because she goes down a little further, and they kill the next son, the same woman. So, and I'm wondering, and I'm trying to figure out, why is she like this? She's a certain type of way. So here she is, and I'm wondering, when I see her at church, she has a certain mentality. And she acts a certain way. Even in her praise, she acts a certain way. And so I found out when I asked her to narrate her story in my book. And when I read it, I was like, okay, I see.
Yeah.
I see.
Now I understand.
Yeah, now I understand. So different circumstances causes people to handle things a different way. I remember a friend of mine, this guy was sheriff on the sheriff department, pastor of a church. We would sit and watch the boxing when the boxing was on. Me, him, Dad, my brother, we would sit down and we watch the boxing. 11 o'clock at night, we get a call. This dude, Reverend Pastor Sheriff, had killed his wife, shot her son, and blown his brains out.
Wow.
What do you say?
Wow.
That's the question. What do you say?
Exactly. Cassandra?
Yeah, yeah. What's our topic for today? Y'all making me depressed.
Wow. Yeah.
Leonard, I need a pill right now. I need a
I'm
pill now.
sorry. I'm sorry, Cassandra. I'm sorry.
No, it's not you. No, it's just a subject, but it's stuff we need to talk about because there are actually people very miserable right now.
Yes.
But how do we help them? We know, all of us know people that are miserable, but how do we help them just get through? And I think it was Charles that said, and someone else, we need to talk. We need to talk to people if we see signs or if we even think that this may be a rough time for people. Just reach out. That means a lot to people. When you heard it, for someone to call and say, "Hey, I was just thinking about you," to go or something. It means a lot. So
Exactly.
I think we can do something. Just be sensitive to those that we know, especially that are going through right now because of loss or whatever the situation may be. They may be having a hard time financially, right now. We just need to, and because the holidays is a rough time for a lot of people.
Yeah.
Regardless of whether it's a death or not.
508-924-3521. 508-924-3521. Give us a call. We're gonna get on to our topic right now, but because this thing here, we're gonna have some people, man, don't want to mess up nobody's day. 508-924-3521. 508-924-3521. Leonard. And this is as simple as this question may sound. Is a very deep and a very it's a personal question. But Leonard, who are you?
Well, I am. So, this is short for me. I am. Because my God is. I am. Now, I can't explain to you who I am. But I can be who I am. I can explain. You can ask me what my response would be to various issues and things of that nature. But in and of itself, I'm not one of those people who dwell on that type of thing. Like, say, for instance, I may despise Charles's political side, but other than that, he may be a great guy. I don't have to, like, how some people, how long would that conversation last? You could go on all day about who you think you are, who you believe you are, and we have all these issues where people really trying to explain to you things that really don't nobody care.
But to a big degree, to a lot of times, there's a lot of people that's walking around right now that really have no idea who they are. You ask them the question, they don't know how to answer. Oh, what do you mean? What do you mean? What do you mean?
What am I supposed to do about that? What am I supposed to do about it? If you're walking around confused, ask me what you need to help you. If I got an answer, I'll try to help you. If not, I'll refer you to other resources or what have you. But that who am I? That could be a question or an experiment. Who do you want to be? Because some of y'all don't came up and have embraced this notion of my truth, which lets you know that it's not absolute in the first place. I just get thrown when people say my truth, because that means it could be very well be a lie that you love.
So basically, we back to what I said earlier. A lot of times, people don't know who they are; they have no idea.
I can guess about it, but I don't know. You could be trying to pull one on me. I don't know.
Trying to put an okey doke.
You told me you was a great person, and then the next thing I know, you out here killing babies.
Say you're a great person. Why you get your hand out my pocket?
I watch what you do, and I'll determine who you are.
Yeah, exactly. Let me go to Charles. Charles, who are you?
Man, that's a great question, man. I am. I'm sorry. I apologize. I didn't even try to make me sound like Leonard, but damn, that was such a great answer, man. I am let me say, I am whoever you say I am. You know what I'm saying? And if I, you know, I'm not gonna rap now. I'm not gonna rap. Hold on. I'm not gonna rap. I'm not about to rap, man. I'm just saying. But if I am, to me, I'm the top person in the world. To me, I'm the helper. I'm the top person in the world. I'm the, you know, to my dad, I was the top person in the world. To my mom, I was the top person in the world. To some people, I'm an a-hole.
Watch this. Watch this. No,
I didn't curse.
No. I know you know. I'm picking. Actually, I'm picking at you. No. You good? Actually, I'm picking at you when I said no. When you said that, go ahead.
because you know what, and sometimes I relish that because that's what I want to be to them.
Yeah.
But I'm a father. I'm a brother. I'm all those things. But I think, man, hey, that was just such a great answer. Because it fits to me. If it doesn't fit everybody,
yeah.
And I don't like putting labels on everybody. But his answer was so good that it actually should fit all of us, man.
Okay.
It really should, because if you really know who you are, and like you say, I agree with you also. Some people are walking around in their 30s and 40s and don't know who they are. Which is, and I've run into a lot of people like that. And that's one of the things I teach my sons. You got to know who you are and what you like, what you don't like, what you love and what you don't love, what you tolerate and what you don't want to tolerate, a lot earlier than I did when I was, you know, growing up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly.
So that's such an open question.
It is
a great question, man.
It is, but
I'm gonna give it to Leonard. That was a great answer, and I'm just gonna have to piggyback off of most of what he said.
Okay,
because
good deal. Let me go. Oh, exactly. Let me go to Cassandra. Cassandra, who are you?
I tell you, in a lot of ways, I'm still finding out who I am, and if we're honest, we're still discovering now who we are. I find out about myself all the time, and I go like, dang, I didn't know, you know, that's a part of who you are. But we should be evolving and figuring out, learning more of who we are. And I agree. I talk to people every day in their 30s, 40s, 50s that still don't know. They still like, I don't know my purpose. I talked to a lady the other day. I think she said she's like 56, 57, and she still doesn't know her purpose.
Wow.
Well, I mean, what has happened? I mean, you're 57 and you haven't, and you're a Christian, and you still have not discovered what your purpose is. You've probably been operating in your purpose and didn't realize, you know, that is a part of who you are. So, for me, you know, I know that I'm an activist, an advocate. You know, I'm a counselor, a director. You know, I know those parts of who I am. But there are things about me that I'm still learning because I'm evolving. And I hope to continue to find out more about who I am because of who God has called me to be. And that'll help me, you know, to continue my journey. I'm 62 and I have a few more years left. And I want to continue to learn more about who I am so that I can be who God called me to be.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Toussaint, who are you?
I am your worst enemy or your best friend.
Pretty much,
right, Leonard?
Yeah,
that we all are. That is. I am. Leonard start off with I am.
Yes, sir.
I am the guy with a smile or a frown that you never, or no, you can't be the guy with tears in my eye. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And Cassandra has a good answer because we're evolving. You don't know. You don't even know what you're going to be. You're just trying to achieve. I'm the one that's trying to achieve. trying to get mine. That's who I am. I'm an overcomer. Matter of fact, I'm more than an overcomer. That's not what I said. That's what he said. So I am what he said. More than a conqueror. That's what I developed. What I've learning to do because of where I am is I let him mold me, because I tried to mold myself and I became a fool. I was stupid. Young, what are you? Dumb, and all the above. You'll get that when you get home.
I know where you're going. I know exactly where you're going. Toya with a T. Who are you? Toya?
Yes, sir, I'm here.
Yes. Who are you?
I'm woman. I am a God. I am someone created in God's image. I am human. I am a sister. Depends on what angle you're coming from. I am love. You understand what I'm saying? At the end of the day, the only thing that matters is what God says I am. All these worldly things that we think determine who we are has nothing to do with nothing. And we forget that. We put this premise on things that don't even matter to us anymore. And that's the problem, because we forget to be human. We forget to be brothers. We forget to be fathers. We forget to be aunties. We forget to be uncles. We become the things that we think, whether it be sex, people who commit pedophilia are brothers and sisters. You understand what I'm saying? So, that's not who you are, though. Any kind of human, no matter what human you are, you get in yourself and decide to be who you want to be. I guess that's kind of the real point, right?
Yes.
So it doesn't make the mark of who you are. Either you're a man or a woman. We're all human, right? But no matter what we say, God says, we made in his image. So what does that mean? And if we really zoom in on that key point, being made in the image of a God, and match that with what we're doing on a daily basis, and we look at what kind of God you are and what kind of things you're creating, if we really focus on that, I promise you a lot of us will change a lot of the things we do.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Mary, who are you? Mary? Did we lose her? Okay, we might have lost her there. I think she's still there. But anyway, we got Rico. Good morning. How you doing this morning? Rico, you there?
Yeah, grand rising, man. Grand rising, and congratulations to everybody on receiving another day of life, man.
Yes.
I can't complain how everybody doing.
Hey, doing good. Congratulations to you as well, sir. Asking the question, man. Rico, who are you?
Who am I? I am a temporary vessel. Well, I'm a human. I'm an imperfect human being going through a temporary experience with no clue or no control over what the future holds. I'm a creation of a supreme nature, the same creation that everybody else has experienced. I'm just going through my period of time. Some people went through it 1,000 years ago. Some people went through it 100 years ago, still not knowing what today will look like. Now I'm just going through my experience as an imperfect human being, not knowing what the future holds 100 years from now. All I know is that I won't be here. Somebody else will be going through the experience. And as a matter of fact, somebody might not even know I ever existed in another 100 years.
Wow.
But what I am is I am an imperfect human being going through this experience. It's my turn.
Exactly.
To go through this cycle.
That's good. That's good. Kurt, you there?
I'm talking to my doctor. Come back to me.
Okay, good deal. Leonard, talk to me, Leonard.
I think, as you find out, for instance, I'm very philosophical. So,
Mm-hmm.
These questions are constantly tossed about. And so
Mm-hmm.
I always look at and read things related to the human kind. And I look at what other people hundreds of years ago have written and things and trying to define themselves. The moment you try to define yourself is the moment you create a problem,
Mm-hmm.
because you will find yourself at odds when it comes to that. The best you can be is who you are. I find it completely absurd that people would define themselves in terms of their sexuality.
Mm-hmm.
Period. I mean, I'm not trying to be a man.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not. I just am.
Don't have to try.
I don't have to try. I'm not trying.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard being black.
Mm-hmm.
No, that's pretty easy.
Mm-hmm.
I don't ever remember waking up trying to be black. I am black.
Mm-hmm.
Even
Yeah.
outside of the social construct of it,
Mm-hmm.
I am this every day. I don't try to define myself, and that's why I say, well, people have a warped sense of God. God can't change. How can you
Mm-hmm.
say that? I mean, I don't. How you defining God,
Mm-hmm.
your creator? God can't be happy. God can't be sad. God can't this. There are some people believe that they are just experts at who God is.
Mm-hmm.
But negating the fact when Moses asked, "Who shall I say sent me?"
Mm-hmm.
I am sent you.
Mm-hmm.
That's who sent you. That's who I am. Right, I am right now.
Mm-hmm.
It's about being present, which is the reason why anyone who have watched this long enough, who knows me, will say, I don't dwell in the past.
Mm-hmm.
I'm so glad to get out of yesterday. I don't know what to do, Tucson.
Mm.
I made it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Lord, if I should wake up, I'm just as surprised as everybody. People say, you know what, you really surprised me with the things you say. Yeah, I surprised me too.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm not performing,
Yeah.
or it ain't written down nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
But I actually am trying to live unbiasedly. I'm trying to be open and listening to everything, but I don't stick myself in a box where I have to be what someone else wants me to be.
Mm-hmm.
And it's never, it doesn't work for me. It hasn't always worked out the best for me. I've clashed with people and things, but you know what? That's all I can be.
Mm-hmm.
And if I challenge any man to challenge me and say I've ever treated you poorly, or I've treated you unfairly.
Mm-hmm.
I don't because I know who I am.
Yes.
And
Wow.
my constitution and those things that I prefer. I never want to be a bad guy, so I never try to do bad things.
Mm-hmm. Good. Let me go to Badger. Badger, good morning. How you doing this morning?
Pello won this morning.
Hey, good deal. Asking the question, man. And only you can answer this, Badger.
Mm-hmm.
Who are you?
I'm just a mixed blood human that does his best to serve.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Good deal. Good deal. Go ahead.
I mean, I can challenge Leonard though.
Mm-hmm.
He treated me with respect, and I didn't like it. I'm Cherokee, Irish, and Scott. I never know which side I'm supposed to hate in myself sometimes, if you look at it through racist eyes. The Irish are still fighting to this day. the Scottish or the Scots and Native Americans are dealing what they're dealing with. So, I always have to make a choice. I'm like, well, do I wake up angry because of the crap all my ancestors have gone through, or do I do my best to accept what's happened, be thankful to be able to learn from it, and do my best to look forward and make sure we don't repeat the past again?
That's good.
So it's what I've also realized that for some reason that's a really hard concept for other human beings to do, especially if they have ancestors that went through really bad things.
Okay.
So I guess I finally learned, and this is my opinion, that I don't want to be controlled because of the thoughts that were implanted or the emotions that were implanted that I should have because of my past and my environments. Was all that did for me was cause trauma and resentment and all kinds of anger and jealousy, envy. Or do I turn to creation and go, I want to let this stuff go, guide me to teach me how, and then guide me to show me what I can do to not only better myself, but to better all the people that are around me.
That's
And I've
good.
been
That's
living
good.
like that since I was 11 years old.
Good deal. Cassandra, when a person look in the mirror, can they always accept the answer?
Background.
Huh? Okay. Can a person always accept the answer that's staring back at them? Cassandra? I think Cassandra has stepped away from the building. We'll come back to her. Let's go to Toya, and Curtis coming to you next. Toya, what do you say to that? Can a person always accept who's staring back at them in the mirror when they look in it?
Oftentimes we don't look at who we are, we look at who everybody else is. We don't really analyze who we are and what we do. We don't actually get the reflection of who we are, because if we did, we might understand probably why some people do what they do, because we're taking a good reflection of ourselves and our responsibilities. So oftentimes, the parents that taught these kids the habits don't understand it. That's where it comes from, because they're the most influential. Right? So if your kids is yelling at somebody and bullying, that's because that's how you taught them at home. And most of the time you don't see that. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes when we take our corporal punishment, right, to the extreme, we don't want to acknowledge that we beating them too much because we feel like, you know what I'm saying? So oftentimes, no, that's not what we do. We don't really look at who we are in the mirror. It's always about everything else and all the other excuses. There's no excuses. And that's the part where we lose it at. That's the part we don't get reeled in because of our own individual responsibility. So oftentimes, but when you do learn how to look at yourself in the mirror, what they say, do unto others as you should have them do unto you. Like when you look in the mirror and you see how you feel about things and how you look at things, then that's what help you better to be able to identify and empathize with people. But one thing for sure, two things for certain: when you're miserable and when you're stubborn, right? You're not going to try to see it from nobody else's view, no matter what that mirror says. But now we're not trying to look at the mirror. It's hard to look at the mirror and be ugly and be mad at the mirror because you see ugliness.
Exactly. Wow. You're looking in that mirror and ugly staring back at you. Not a physical ugly, but a personality ugly, or different layers of ugly. It has nothing to do with the physical thing, but sometimes ugly stares right back at you, and people can't accept that. Curtis, who are you?
I'm an African American male living the American experience. That's who I am.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Wow, that's good. That's good. In a nutshell, Rico, talk to me, brother. Reality. Can people always accept that reality of who they are?
Not at all. Not at all. And it was funny you went there because when you were saying that, well, before you had said that, I was thinking about the physical and the mental.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you have some people that don't like what they see in the mirror, but they're very kind because they want people to treat them the way they want to be treated.
Mm-hmm.
They don't want to be called a big cow while they walking down the street or told, "Ooh, you so ugly." But then some of these people that look like a cow walking down the street learn how to beat that face up.
Mm-hmm.
And they ain't talking about beating it up the way it's ugly, like they looking like Martin when Tommy Hearn beat him up. I mean, beat it up in a good way. Beat it up to a point where they can look like somebody totally different. And they like what they see in that mirror now physically. And some of those people, when they turn and they start liking who they see in the mirror physically, they turn into something mean and nasty because they think that attitude comes with it. It ain't cockiness, it's confidence.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
And so they get real nasty attitudes. And so they live in a delusion.
Mm-hmm.
The reason why people live in a delusion because they don't like what they see. They don't like what the true reality is.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I was glad you brought that up about reality because most people, they live in a delusion. I've seen men raise their sons to be guaranteed to die early or go to prison.
Wow. Yeah.
And before they die early or go to prison, you telling these men what their sons out here doing, and the first thing they're saying is there ain't nobody gonna mess with them, this and that, this and that. Or maybe they proud and smiling when they see that they made them a little bully when they were young. Oh yeah, my little boy, he gonna be tough. He ain't gonna let nobody push him over.
Mm-hmm.
But then just as soon as he back and forth in that prison or he in that box and his face is on somebody's t-shirt,
mm-hmm.
you looking in the mirror and you're accepting the responsibility for raising what he turned out to be. You ain't accepting accountability for putting in him everything that was needed to make sure he wasn't going to make it past 25.
Mm-hmm.
All of this toxic masculinity and hood and street codes, gang knowledge, how to be a pimp, how to be a player, sowing y'all, making money, hustling,
mm-hmm.
all the different things that we tend to tell our young black men and young black women that this is what we supposed to be in our society.
Yep.
Then when it backfires on them, we don't want to acknowledge the fact that we created that. We created not only the atmosphere, but we showed them what to do. We led them in that direction. Now you wondering why you got 3 sons all dead before you buried your babies.
Mm-hmm. I don't know why.
Not at the same time, but at different times.
Exactly.
All your daughters they're not married and got grandchildren everywhere. You got 3 daughters and you got 15 grandchildren from them 3 daughters, and ain't none of them knowing who the baby daddies is.
Wow.
But you showed her how to get that money and work with how to use what God gave her. Now you're looking in the mirror and you got all these grandkids and you got all these gangster sons and grandchildren, and you don't know why they like that. I can't do nothing with them, girl. You avoid reality. You live in a delusion. Because you might be still thinking you the queen bee, and everybody loves the queen bee. Oh, what the woman call herself on Love and Hip Hop, Scrapping Mama?
Yeah.
The queen, she's such a hot mess that how many times you think she look in the mirror and say, you know what, man, some of the stuff that's going on, I caused it because I was in my character.
Exactly.
Of being the queen.
508-924-3521. 508-924-3521. Give us a call. Phone lines are open. Asking the question, who are you? Do you know who you are? Does it matter? Does it even matter? 508-924-3521. I don't know why this part of the song in DMX was a change lyric. I think some of the stuff he said in the song was absolutely amazing. But he said one line. I want to make sure I get it right. Rico, if I don't get it right, you come in and let me know. Toya with a T, I know you got this. Say you lying on your back in the church. The preacher's telling the truth and it hurts. You don't want to be in that situation. Lying on your back in the church, the preacher telling the truth and it hurts. Wow. Tucson, talk to me, brother. Oh, wait, did I get that part right? Was that right? Toya?
These supposed to say, woo, y'all gonna make it.
Exactly. Tucson, talk to me, brother. What's on your heart?
I'm still trying to figure out that. Anyway.
That song?
Yeah. But
DMX.
Yeah. When you said something about being a person in the mirror, or should you something about the person in the mirror, the first thing I said, don't you dare, because I'm you know what we do with the person in the mirror? Perfect him. Try to make him better. The worst thing I can be is content.
Tucson, I love that, brother. I love that, Tucson. But does everybody even care about being better? Or some people? Some people just love being nasty. Some people just love being nasty, mean, cruel.
I was listening, and I heard an uppercut this morning.
Uh-oh, Leonard, don't do it.
He already did.
Yeah, he did it. Go ahead.
See, so what's wrong with being honest? Because deception is a part of not knowing who you are.
Some people can't handle this.
Fake and phony is one thing that I don't want to be. I don't want to be fake and phony. When you talked about even DMX and the preacher telling the truth and it hurts, well, the preacher don't really know your business, but I know somebody that you know. But I'm telling you, somebody that does, and he'll find your sins will find you out.
Yes, sir.
They'll come to light, even in the darkest hour.
Christmas Eve.
It'll expose you while you got a smile.
Christmas Day.
What is that?
Oh no! Everybody mute your line. Somebody got the conversation going on in the background. Go ahead, Tucson.
I lost my thought, but that's another thing that I'm not. I don't lose my thought. I just get me another one.
Nope.
He just was through with it. He just through with it.
I'm talking about, man, look, I'm telling you, full of words. But I hope that they're not words of ignorance.
Some people, but you say about the truth, man. Some people just can't handle the truth, man. Some people like to live in that world of denial. Cassandra, what's on your heart?
It'll help you though.
I don't know.
Yeah, it will.
I don't know.
You might not like it.
Sometimes the truth gonna come knock on the door. What you gonna do?
Accept it.
Some can't. But I understand what you're saying, and you're not wrong. But some just can't, Tucson. I understand exactly what you're saying. Cassandra, what's on your heart?
Yeah, you're right. It's some people that cannot. Absolutely, I don't care how much of who they are is presented to them. They will deny that is them, no matter what. I don't care if it's slapping them dead in the face. They no, that I'm not like that, and everybody can see it, except for them.
Yeah,
and especially people that have narcissistic behavior. I don't care what you say to a narcissist, they're gonna deny it. If it's something they don't like, they're gonna deny it from the hill. So we have to consider people where people are, their mentality, different issues that they may be dealing with, and denial doesn't mean that it ain't true. Just because we deny something about ourselves, it doesn't mean that it isn't true.
Exactly.
So yeah, it's just people have to learn to just face up to who. The only way that you can make a change, especially if it's a negative you that's in the mirror, the only way that you're going to make a change is you admit, first of all, yeah, that's me. That's what I do. And I want to be better.
Exactly. And a lot of times, easier said than done. Mary, are you still with us? I think we might have lost Mary there. Leonard, talk to me, brother.
I enjoy hearing what people saying, especially my man Tucson. But it is, man, it's so sad that people do not embrace the truth. And that's where we find people with the most problems.
Yep.
And I am a person that likes to have a very good time. So my thing that I do is if I can't have a good time around you, I don't want to be around you. I live a very simple life. And I'm, having gone places, done things, and whatever I wanted to do. That's why it may be hard for some of you to accept the fact I'm free. You want me to believe I'm some type of slave and all that? I don't care about that. That's what you think. I'm free. Well, as a black man in America, well, I don't care nothing about being no black man in America. Run up. Because I'm gonna do what I want to do. Now I don't know why everybody else ain't doing what they want to do. I can't worry about that. But I'd rather do what I want to do than what you want to do. I mean, I'm not sitting around waiting for nobody to do nothing for me, to approve of me, to do. I'm just not that type. I'm not that guy. I love my wife, for instance.
Yes.
And so if my wife came in and said, this ain't working for me, I can't tell her she lying. You know what I'm saying? I think I need some space. Then go get you some space. Well, what you go? It ain't what I'm gonna do. You go do what you want to do. Okay, don't. If that's what you want to do, go do it. You go. I'll wait till the outcome. People say I ain't on drugs. Whatever. Okay, you're not on drugs. Let's just assume that you're not. I see you in 6 months. No, we'll know if you're on there or not.
Exactly.
I'm not gonna go back and forth with people about nothing. I'm a great arguer because I study and I prepare, and that's how I approach things. I don't believe that there is something that I can't do, but I definitely believe there are some things that I would rather not do. I could want to be a professional basketball player all I want. The truth of the matter is, I'm 5'6". I could sit around here and go to the park every day and swear I'm gonna be a great ball player, but you know what? Probably not. Just with the information I have access to.
Yeah.
So I'm more when you go to therapy, and Kurt mentioned all those things that I use. And one having to deal with people, and I let people know, like, when you look in the mirror, what do you see? You see an image.
Exactly.
You may choose to like or not like that image. That's up to you. Sometimes I used to tell people when somebody said, well, we can lock you up and blah, 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 blah. You can't never lock me up. You can say what you want. I'll be in your sleep tonight. The worst, you think you having an issue with me. And now imagine if I was free from this flesh. You know what I'm saying? Because one, you're going to do what you want to do, and you're going to leave, and you're going to think it's over. And when you lay down and close your eyes, I'll be there. and then you'll be wondering why I'm there.
Mm-hmm.
So we're not going to go back and forth and try to see how mean we can be to one another. I'm not going to do it.
So you saying you could be like saying the Kenny Man 3 times, you're gonna show up, huh?
Come on, man.
Yeah, I got to be silly. Let's keep this thing going. Let's go back to Yes, sir. Hello?
I heard it say so.
Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay.
Stop all that cussing, Kurt.
Yeah, you heard that? You heard that, didn't you? Hurt. Yeah. Yeah, we're gonna put you. You got to put you in that corner, brother. What happened?
No, they don't put me. Well, the corner be better than being in quarantine. I can tell you that.
Exactly.
I'm not. I just wasn't feeling that well. My bad, man. I was saying what was on my mind.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you talk out loud, so.
What you came up positive, brother?
Well, I did the home test, man. Yeah, so that's my boss right there. Let me call you back.
Okay.
Let me just click over real quick.
Got you. Rico, talk to me. Badger, and coming to you next, Badger.
Rico. Yeah, that denial thing, man. You know, that goes back to us being imperfect human, having compulses and things that we indulge in that we don't want to let go, vices. We're in such denial that we can look at people dying of cancer every day and read a pack of cigarettes and tell you that they're a risk, and then somebody still try one for the first time.
Yep.
They don't think they're gonna get hooked. They'll hit that crack. I know plenty of people that got hooked on crack that sold it because they just didn't understand how these people couldn't quit. I got stronger willpower than that, man. I think I could quit it. I wonder what it feel like anyway. I bet you I could do it and I don't get hooked. But you know what? They ain't stealing no more.
Yeah,
they stealing.
Yep. Become some of the
best. They was in denial.
Become some of the best customers.
They was in denial that they were human.
Yep.
They thought they were special. Thought they were better than everybody. But you ask a question: what do you see when you look in the mirror? Well, what you better see is if you got a booger in your nose and if you got your face clean, because what you see is what everybody else is gonna see. When you get out that mirror and you walk out into the public. So that's the reason why some people beat that face. But they don't like who they see.
Yep.
Not and that's physically. And then mentally, that's when you got to come up with that lie. Oh yeah, man! Back in the day, I was all-state football. I could have had a scholarship, University of Alabama. And let's say you go back and look, man, them jokers ain't played since the Pee Wee League, 5th grade. They just felt like they believed in themselves. They felt like if they would have played, they could have. So they gonna tell you, man, yeah, man, back in the day, man, we used to run the court all day long, man. We used to beat everybody. But you weren't playing organized ball. You talking about meeting up at the gym, playing against winos and other has-beens.
Exactly.
So you know you're in denial. You know, we really, as human beings, have to accept accountability and look at reality, and it's hard. It's hard. You know what I'm saying? I know I heard you saying earlier that, you know, the truth hurts and some people can't accept it. But one thing about it is that sooner or later, you don't have a choice.
Yep.
You don't have a choice but to. Now, in some cases, you do. I ain't gonna. Well, I put it to this way. Sometimes the truth hurts because it isn't hurt. It's withheld. Like in the case of people being prosecuted for crimes they didn't commit, and the truth and the evidence was withheld, so somebody could get a conviction to improve their career during their experience on the temporary journey that we got. And they mess up your experience and make you waste 40, 20, 30 years of it setting up in prison for a crime you didn't do. And no matter how much that truth was out there, it hurt you because it wasn't revealed. That truth probably hurt even more. The fact that you didn't do it and you sitting up here accused of something and doing time for it when somebody else walking around free.
Exactly.
You know, I don't want to go too far, but I don't know if y'all seen this about this judge in Georgia that dropped the charges on this representative or something like that, or state rep that had a friend and had a car accident that killed somebody. And instead of him calling 911 when that friend called him, because you know how it is when you know somebody that knows somebody, well, I'm going to go ahead and call my buddy. He in a high position. And he called him and told him, man, look, I had a car accident, man. I need some help. I'm going to get in trouble. I don't want the police to come. He said, well, let me call the chief and see what I could get done. So he didn't call 911. He called the chief, and the chief went down there to check it out and found out the car accident resulted in him killing somebody. So he didn't just have a car accident, he killed a man.
Mm-hmm.
And still they called 911. So they tried to prosecute this state rep for not calling 911, knowing that was a car accident. He withheld information and actually, once again, tried to go around the judicial system and look out for a good old boy.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Wow.
And the judge dropped the charges to say he wasn't wrong for what he did. You know, and maybe he's feeling like he isn't wrong for what he did, but he's in denial. Because what he should have did was what he would have did if anybody else would have had a car accident, and that was called 911.
Exactly. Exactly. Badger, what's on your heart, brother?
There was a word that was taught to me years ago called introspection. And I think a lot of people need to learn what that word is. Looking within.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's a lot of situations that happen on this planet that can cause us to get angry and all kinds of things like that. Well, it's learning who are we going to be in the moments that we are given is something I think that hasn't been taught to most people.
Mm-hmm.
Just based on, you know, interactions I've had growing up and things like that. And, you know, I can't, man, if I let even half of the accusations just because of the way I look or the way I talk interfere with the things that I do or work my hardest to do, I probably wouldn't be doing anything at all.
Mm-hmm.
You know, out of fear of being judged and belittled and outcasted and everything else, which I'm pretty much outcasted anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Wow.
like, it's all right. So, like the situation Rico just said, you know, all right. So a judge just did something and it was put on the news and things like that. Well, how many people decided to get together and, I don't think the word's petition. I know there, Leonard, what's that thing where you sign something?
That's what that would be. That would be.
Is it a petition? Okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know, a petition to get that judge in trouble. We, the American people, can do things like that.
Mm-hmm.
So is there a petition going on for, you know, against that judge and against the, you said it was one judge defending the other one, saying that it was all right? Is that what happened, Rico?
No, the judge is saying that she's not, or he or she is not going to press charges against the state rep because they didn't see that he was negligent or did anything wrong by not calling 911. But really, what he was doing, he was avoiding the proper procedures, looking out for a buddy.
Mm.
Wait, so is this the person that was married to the person that got killed?
No, his friend was in a car accident.
Okay.
And instead of the friend calling 911, he called the state representative. And instead of the state representative calling 911, he called the chief of police, who was also his friend, to do a lookout. Hey, I got a buddy that had an accident. I want to see if you go out there and help him out.
Mm-hmm.
See what he got going on. And then they got there and found out there was a man dead in the ditch. He didn't just have a car accident, but he killed somebody.
Mm-hmm.
And situations like that, and when they happen and stuff like that, especially with the family, if they have family and stuff, we're capable of so much, yet we let fear and these illusions and misdirections keep us from doing more.
Mm-hmm. Good deal. I think we kind of get off who we are. Our topic today is who are you? Who are you? So let's get back.
Why wouldn't all of this tie into who we are, though? Because I'm an activist.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, doing something like a petition is part of who I am.
Okay. But see, the question is, who are you, not what you do, and that what we're talking about right now will go into what you do, not who you are. Toya, what's on your heart, sis?
Yeah, no. Yeah, we did get kind of off track, but you know, and then who you are, what you do, that kind of all ties in one. You know, right? A part of who we are, even if we decide to be on the bad side of the coin, is conducive or non-conducive to some people are the opposite. You know what I'm saying? But the thing is, the truth. The truth is the matter of that. You know what I'm saying? Who you really are. And sometimes doing bad things. You made a comment earlier about can some people, what you said, how did you say it? Some people, can they like being mean or something like that? You remember what you asked earlier? Like, can some people like being miserable?
Oh, yeah, exactly. Okay, you I had to refresh my mind for a second. So, yeah, a lot of times some people just love being miserable. Some people just love being mean to some people, and that's just what they like to do. Not that it's a good thing, but they just love being miserable and want to make sure that you're just as miserable as they are.
Right. And I'm about to explain or talk about that part right there, because most of the time it's normally known in women, right? Like most women are known to be probably more meaner in cliques and things like that. Most of the time, most men are not. Most men are laid back and calm and settled, but there are some men that may, be, bullies, right? Those are people who like to be miserable. And when we grow up, normally it's the woman. Normally it's the man who sits back and look how feisty or how whatever it is the woman is, and the guy be like, no, I'm sorry, my wife is like that. You know what I'm saying? Because this is normally from that aspect. Oh, she's miserable, or oh, she's a bee. You understand what I'm saying? And it's like, that's kind of what I thought about when you asked that question, right? And I think to an extent, sometimes women can get like that, right? We can be the ones that are picky or the most judgmental, right? But especially with men, right? Some people might think it's mean to say, well, I don't want nobody that's broke, ain't got no car, ain't got no this, ain't got no that. You understand what I'm saying? And most of the time, men are not like that. So that's what I think of when you ask that question, who you are. And is that truly who you are?
Yeah.
Is it okay to be a woman or a man that feel like you don't want a person some kind of way? And when you hear that from somebody, why does that make them mean? Why does it make me mean? Because I don't take no stuff. Right?
Ooh, you cleaned that up.
Because that's who I am.
You cleaned that up, sis.
That's the Lord. That's the Lord. That's the Lord. Because I don't see nothing wrong with that, right?
Yeah.
Because Lord, look, it's a lot of things I don't do, so I can at least cuss. I done rationalize that a bunch of days. But the difference is now I say to him that I want to do your will, please. And it's a process, and I'm getting there, right? Because as a woman, I should not be cussing, but I done rationalize that. I'm a woman from Brooklyn, so I can cuss. You know what I'm saying? But being on this show and praying to him is helping me work on it, right? But people can still, take me as being mean. But no, I'm going to be honest with you. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes people can't take honest, and you're going to feel like it's mean. Another example you were saying earlier, right? The truth. We have a co-worker to where, we work. She doesn't work fast. She's not going to do it. She's not going to be running around like a chicken with a head cut off.
Yeah.
And most people are. And this conversation that say, well, you're not as strong as other people. And that offended her. And now you don't want to talk to people. But that's people's opinion. Like, you're not going to get mad. Oh, Toya, well, you can't do this, you can't do that. If you're going to own it and recognize that it's true, or you gonna own it and it's gonna be true anyway, and you want to walk in denial and then be sensitive when somebody come and call you out on it? That's not cool, because that's not what adults do. But sometimes it be like that. Sometimes the truth be offensive because it's true.
Yeah, exactly. Toussaint, what's on your heart, brother?
Thought about something.
Oh Lord,
What you said. No, it was not. I don't know if it's good or bad.
Okay.
But what I am not is my title.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see if I can explain it.
Mm-hmm.
Or what I do. I heard a message, and it was saying the titles even that we give God, Jesus. The question is that who he is?
Mm-hmm.
So he's that and more. But
Mhm.
is that who he is? Because some people relate to him as a bread, in the starving land,
Mm-hmm.
in the water and dry places. But they don't trust him, and they don't have no relationship with him, and they don't even have a clue of who he really is.
Mm-hmm.
So when we started with the first answer to this question, I am. What I'm not is what I'm titled, because it keeps me in a box.
Mm-hmm.
It allows you to pinpoint, oh, you this. No, I may have done that.
Mm-hmm.
Here we go again, but that's not who I am, because I've learned that people label you and figure that's who you are. Let me show you what I'm talking about. They say, "Oh, I thought you was a Christian." What do you mean that you thought? Or I thought you was a preacher. Or I thought you was a this or that or whatever. We label, and some people go as far as that's all they are is their label. I heard the uppercut.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna go back to that, and I don't mean any harm by it. I'm not trying to, throw a knife in the middle of the fight. But when we talk about people that have gone to the point as they're die-hard Democrat or Republican, they just go along to get along just because they're part of the party. I'm not part of no party.
Mm-hmm.
I know when I'm going in the ditch, so I don't follow the blind.
Come on.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Because we have to take our circumstances, our situations, and let them make us who we are.
Mm-hmm.
We talked about death. We talked about grieving. We talked about all of these things make you who you are. Or can break you.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Because even what I'm saying is they work out for development.
Mm-hmm.
Our trials make us strong. So anyway, I just thought about that. That's what that was in my heart.
Good punch. Uppercut. Cassandra.
Yes, sir.
Cassandra, you are an element, you a counselor, activist, teacher, minister, and a lot of other things. I'm just naming out a few. But of all of that, how much of that is who you are, or are those just layers of a part of you, but it's not who you are? What do you say to that?
I mean, of course, there are layers of who I am, because in all of the things that I do, I have to present different things, different sides of me. My counseling side is totally different a lot of times from my activism side. My pastor side is different. So for all of those things that I do, there are different layers. There are different things that are entailed in me getting that particular job done. So, but the bottom line is that I'm a person that cares about people. That I think that would be my main thing. My flaw is that sometimes I get
too involved with the things that I do, and I neglect me. I'm big on that. I neglect me a lot of times, and that is my biggest flaw. See, just the same way that I can say what's good about me, I can say that that's something that is horrible about me, that I neglect myself a lot of times in order to do things for other people. And that's not a good thing. It sounds like it's oh, that's really great. She's no, you can do damage to yourself doing that. And some of us on this line, we do that.
Yeah.
We have caused damage to our own self because of our trying to do stuff for other people. If we be honest about it.
Yeah. That's good. That's good.
Not everybody, but some of us have done that.
Leonard, what's on your heart, brother?
It's just listening to Miss Cassandra or what have you. She's just dead on, and that's why I think one of the biggest problems is with the whole matter is how do you know what you're going to be? How? I mean, what's a great answer? Great answer. And then you tell me who you are, and then I see you do something that's exactly the opposite.
Yep.
I mean, if I were to ask 10 people their opinion of me, I could very well get 10 different answers. There are some people just know me from this. Some people may find it hardly believing. I tell people, man, I'm so silly when I'm in my own space.
Yes, Lord.
You know what I mean? You know me. I mean, I'm
yes,
just
Lord.
as goofy
like,
as I can be. You know what I'm saying? But then I am learning now. Like you say about who ain't got I don't know what my purpose is. I really don't. I struggle with that regularly. I'm just doing the best I can. Like I don't know why I like Raheem.
Wow.
I can tell you a couple reasons.
Look.
But they wouldn't be all of them.
Yeah.
You know, or like someone will say, well, why you doing that? And why you get up and do that? Because that's what I like. And when I no longer like it or something happens, then I won't do it. I'm not looking for anything else but being present. So when a lot of times when people say, you do that for, or it used to be about different things. They used to ask me, so where you live? I live in Covington. But yet I'm in Atlanta every day. And then they'll say, well, how much they pay you to do this? I do it for free. I'm a volunteer. Well, you a volunteer? Some people just aren't into volunteering.
Yeah.
Trying to recruit, say for instance. And I did some dissertation work, research work, and things like that, action research related to the recruitment and retaining of individuals for types of nonprofit organizations or civil rights organizations. And people come into these things from various reasons, personal experiences, a need to want to be a part of something positive and changing things. Some people come at it from, they may see, hey, this is hurting the black culture economic. This is hurting us economically. And, you know, lots of different concerns. It's just when you start to try to make people believe something that is not true. I'll tell anybody, we can argue all day. You can refuse what I say, but the truth will be right here. Now let's go do something else.
Yep.
I'm not going to argue with you about what is.
Exactly.
It's going to always be there. I don't, you know, I don't have to labor with a person over certain things. And God is teaching me each and every day. I am just traveling. I am just traveling. And so, you know, I say, man, I wish I had a career. I don't have a career. You know, I look at some people and I like some of my friends, he's an accountant or he's a superintendent. Man, that's cool. That's a career, man. They dedicate their lives to their career and things like that. And then maybe it's a positive for me not to be locked into one thing. I look at it from both ways. I hope God reveals to me what it is, you know, but I'm searching for it. You know, but that's the best I can tell you.
Absolutely. 508-924-3521. 508-924-3521. Got a few more minutes on it. Curtis, you back with us? Kurt, you there? Okay, try to catch up with Kurt before we get out of here. Rico, talk to me, brother.
I want to go back to what Badger was saying, because he said a key word: introspect.
Mm-hmm.
Introspect, and then to me, I'm big on this word, sincerity.
Mm-hmm.
See, you know, we know how to make a first impression, and sometimes we get so caught up in making those first impressions. I ain't gonna say we, but you know, human beings.
Yeah.
But I look at things in a group economic, a group setting, and human beings, you know, we'll give off that first impression because we want to put off the facade of the image that we are a certain way. I could come on here all day long and say I'm celibate, I'm celibate, I'm celibate.
Mm-hmm.
But that still doesn't mean that when I see 30 women a day, I don't have the same thoughts and desires that I had when I was the worst fool.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But me saying I'm celibate, oh man, that's good. You done been going this long? Yeah, I've been going this long. But man, every time I see some of these women, I'm still undressing them.
Mm-hmm.
Just as bad as I was in the past. So, you know, I brought that up about the judge. Because the judge, he could put out the image that he actually probably took the oath that he would be unbiased and fair in his judgment. And he would abide by the book of the law. But then he broke his oath, and the state rep broke their oath, but they represent themselves a certain way, and they make sure they have to represent themselves a certain way. They're putting off that facade.
Mm-hmm.
Who are they really? Are they good judges? Are they good state reps? Or are they biased? Are they fair? Or are they career minded and they just want the conviction? They don't care if you're guilty or innocent. You shouldn't have showed up in my courtroom.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, we think about who we really are. I'm like Cassandra, man. I'm such an empath that I've had to do a lot of introspect, self-analyze, and think about all the times that I went out of the way and put forth an extra effort towards other people when I didn't do it for myself or maybe even my own children and family members.
Mm-hmm. Mm. Wow. Wow.
Being such an impact,
Mm-hmm.
sacrificing, or just overlooking, neglecting myself because I'm so caught up and intent on doing for other people. So you have to analyze yourself, do a lot of introspect to find out who you are, and not only who you are and where you are,
Mm-hmm.
but at the same time understanding on the bigger picture that each one of our experiences is unique.
Mm-hmm. In its own
No
way.
matter
Absolutely.
how temporary or short, it's long for us.
Yeah.
You know, but it's gonna be short on the bigger end of the spectrum. But you know, finding out who we really are, it just wherever your heart is, that's who you are. And you know your heart, whether regardless of whatever facade you put off or first impression you make. No matter how much you beat your face and make yourself look like somebody totally different, you still know who you are in your heart.
Mm-hmm. Cause that center of the core ain't gonna lie. Badger, what's on your heart, brother?
You know, it's interesting that one of the things that plays into who we are is our perceptions.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Because the way you handled what I said versus the way you were handling what some other people were saying had kind of like one of those aha moments.
Mm-hmm.
Because it was different. You
Mm-hmm.
didn't view what they were saying as doing,
Mm-hmm.
like you did with me.
No, what I said was I said, if you go back and look at it again, I said we have gotten off track because it was a lot of different things that got us to the point where we stopped talking about who are we, and we start talking about what we do and different perspectives and the different jobs that another individual has. That has nothing to do with who are you. Who are you is who are you, not what you do or not your job title. And you are real big on this title thing. You say you don't like titles. And so we wasn't talking about titles. We were talking about who are you. But go ahead.
So that's why I'm going back to perceptions.
Mm-hmm.
You know, these titles are what other people give us, and we choose to accept those titles or not.
Mm-hmm.
When you do introspection to find out who you are,
mm-hmm.
you know, part of that is learning what do you do in the moments that you're given, and who are you going to be in those moments as well.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, and the way I was interpreted, what I was taught growing up, is all of it is who you are.
Mm-hmm.
The titles that you're called, the opinions of others, because those are perceptions. The
Mm-hmm.
difference is the choice that we have to accept what people are trying to put on us.
Mm-hmm. If I were to talk to a judge and I asked him a question, who are you? He could say, I'm a judge, I'm a father, I'm a son, and I'm a brother, I'm a spiritual person. All these things, all those, like I was talking to Cassandra about, all those are layers. But once you remove all those layers, who are you? Take away the titles, take away all the fancy little things. But who are you? And a lot of people don't know, don't have any idea who they are. And I think
Oh,
that's the basis
your
of this
question
conversation.
was the deep question. Oh,
Absolutely.
why didn't you just say that to begin with, brother?
Because I didn't think I had to. I didn't think I had to.
I was
But let
going
me.
based on what other people were saying. Okay,
Mhm.
I'll give my short version real quick.
Okay.
My short version of my opinion of who we are is a physical body with a spirit from all of creation that
Hmm.
was put on this planet to experience things and try to
Hmm.
go and learn how to go back to the source.
Hmm. That's good. That's good.
And sometimes it takes a while. Sometimes
Hmm.
you can learn real quick. Up to you.
Hmm. Hmm. Okay. But now I think we got a clear understanding why I said was our course. Would you agree with that?
Yeah,
Okay.
I
Okay.
just didn't catch it. I'm sorry.
No, no, you're fine. You're fine. That's why we're here. That's why we family, man. We get along. Cassandra. Cassandra,
Yes, sir.
talk
I'm
to
here.
talk to me,
Yes,
sis.
sir.
What's on your heart?
No, I'm glad that we're having this conversation because since we've been having this conversation, I had to reflect a little bit more on who I am. And
Hmm.
like I said, I'm sorry. I'm learning things about me every day,
Hmm.
and I'm hoping to get better by learning those things about me. I'm learning my tolerance and my shortcomings and those are things that I can work on because
Hmm.
I'm still here.
Hmm.
So regardless of what people see or think they see in me, the bottom line is I have to be comfortable with who I am
Hmm.
and know who I am. That your biggest job is to find out who you really are and
Hmm.
being true to who you are. And I'm
Exactly.
good with that. I'm good
Exactly.
with that. That's the good, the bad, and the ugly because I have all those sides,
Hmm.
good, bad, and ugly.
Come on now, Tucson, talk to me, brother. We got a few more minutes. We're going to get on out of here. What's on your heart?
Yeah. Yeah, I just thought about it as Cassandra and everybody that was talking. I think that in the nutshell, I probably am a person that is living to try to see at my best how God can get the glory out of my life.
Hmm. That's good.
Now, the rest of it, I'm still trying to figure that out.
Hmm. Good deal.
I'm all of what you said,
Hmm.
Father, all of this kind of stuff.
Hmm.
I do this, do that. That ain't got nothing to do with who I am.
Yeah.
Who I am.
Exactly.
But it helps mold me
Hmm.
into who He wants me to be.
Hmm.
And I'd probably be better if I would seek who He wants me to be rather than who I'm trying to be.
Exit. Come on. There you go. Toy, you with a T. Talk to me, sis.
Hey, listen, I done learned to just, hey Lord, whatever you want me to be, because I'm an idiot. I don't know what I got going on down here. So I just wake up and do, hey Lord, what you want me to do today? Blow on me, make me do it because
Yeah.
I can't think for myself clearly.
Hmm.
So hey, whoever God want me to be, all I know is that nobody else get to dictate who I am. Not
Hmm.
even myself. Only God does that. He done said it, therefore it is so. That's what I'm rolling with. Thank you for the platform. We
Praise
love you
God.
so much for having opportunities like this, Raheem, and feeling like, it's something that's God driven. That we can
Hmm.
have these conversations, man, so we can, our opening, it's like mirrors,
Hmm.
and as we have these conversations and listen to each other, I know that we breaking your plan. So I just want to appreciate you for not only having me, but just for having this platform for all of us to really come to see some kind of God truth. I thank you so much. I love y'all and y'all have a good day. And happy holidays.
Absolutely, absolutely. And God bless you and thank you. To God be the glory. You know what I got to say to that, man. To God be the glory. Rico, talk to me, brother.
Once again, I'm gonna say it just like I started from the beginning. I'm a very imperfect human with plenty of flaws.
Yes, sir.
Going through a unique experience and then on a journey that billions and billions before me have gone through. And if I do my job and I appreciate this experience, this thing, this special, magnificent thing called life, the way that I do, billions and billions that will experience after me. And I am that human being that love life so much to the point to where I love yours and everybody else's experience of life, because this gift that I congratulate everybody up for having every day, every morning, is one gift that you can never replace.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Leonard, talk to me, brother.
Yeah, what Rico said, man.
Just like that.
It could be just like that. And that would be my word for people, is to think more about being present and living in this moment, because once it's gone, and you have no control over it. The only thing that you can control is now and later. You can't control the past. Even if you left what happened in the past alone, you could 20 years from now, it will still be the same.
Yes, sir. Yes,
you know,
sir.
you're just adding more to it. Once it's, I love to get it behind me. I love to get over it. And we need to quit using the language that we have, which is not very good at this, you know, the way we say it. Yes, you got to get over it. Insensitive or not. When you go, you're going to get over it. You're going to go around it, something. But one thing I do know, that if you do nothing, you'll still be there. You'll stay there.
I saw this post on Facebook. I think it was yesterday, last night actually. And I found it very, very interesting. And y'all know we're going to get out of here, but I'm gonna go ahead and throw it on out there. But the post said this: let's go to heaven and wish Jesus a happy birthday. I was like, wow. That y'all to think about that later, and it might make some sense to you. But it said, let's go to heaven and wish Jesus a happy birthday.
I vote a no for that one, please.
Yeah, okay, and that's a second. Say I second that motion.
I ain't want to say nothing. That didn't sound right to me. That means I got to die, don't it?
Yeah, exactly. Now y'all exactly. That's exactly what I thought.
Die, man.
Yep.
That sounds like some religious fanaticism to me.
That's exactly. Go ahead. That's exactly what I thought. I was like, when I say, what is truth of the matter? When I say, is this person talking suicidal? Is this some kind of suicide note? That's the first thing I thought about, because how you gonna go? Anyway, Rico, what's going on at 3:00 today?
If you missed today's broadcast and would like to see the replay in its entirety, you can tune in at www.dkmmediagroup.com at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Good deal. Good deal. Leonard, prayers out, sir.
Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you for all those blessings. We hope that someone learned something from our conversation that would help. We encourage them to try those things that we mentioned and that we talk about. And we also encourage them to seek out help if they need help. These and other blessings I ask in Christ's name. Amen.
Amen. Amen. So y'all felt the same way I felt. It was some kind of suicide, some kind of death thing. Cassandra?
Well, I was thinking Jesus got resurrected. Do we have to go to heaven and tell him happy birthday?
I'm like, I just couldn't.
Hey, I had to.
I can say from right here.
I cussed.
In my living room.
Yeah,
I
cussed.
Because you can't live like hell and go to heaven anyway.
Boy, I tell you, that's a conversation for you. That's a conversation right there. But
with the filth.
Raheem.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm sorry. Today I'm doing the second part of my toy giveaway from 1 to 4 in Riverdale on Riverdale Road. So if anyone knows a family that is in need, I have some clothes and toys. So that's from 1 to 4 in Riverdale. So someone, just tell them to come out. And I'm still trying to get
give the address,
more
give the address.
Socks and blankets for Saturday to give to the homeless.
Okay. No. You can't do that without giving the address. Now, what are they gonna come to? Is there an address?
5595 Riverdale Road.
Okay. Yeah.
5595 Riverdale Road.
Okay. Now,
spread them socks out evenly. Spread them socks out evenly because those men get tired of socks on Christmas.
No, but these homeless, that's one of the main things they always ask for, socks. So I'm trying to, do at least 2 pairs per person.
Yeah, exactly. Now, give that address one more time, just in case somebody didn't have a pen.
For the toy giveaway today is from 1 to 4 at 5595 Riverdale Road.
Good deal. Good deal.
And they can always call me if they have any questions, 770-899-7424.
Say it one more time.
770-899-7424.
Good deal. Good deal. I want to thank everybody for joining us this morning. Then I want to thank you for allowing DK and Media Group and Associates and the Morning Glow for being a part of your day. It is now 10:07. You're about to exit the Morning Glow. But before you go, I want you to do me 2 favors, if you will. One, I want you to continue to pray for us because we're certainly praying for each and every one of you. Number 2, why this is real simple. I want you to go out there, find somebody and give them a hug because you never know. It could be the only hug that they get, or it could very well be their last. Love you, and ain't nothing you could do about it. Have a great day and a better tomorrow. And we shine some of this light on you from the Morning Glow. Take it out there into this wicked and cruel world that we live in and let your light so shine. If you get an opportunity, give somebody some love. You just might find some love in return. Won't that be a beautiful thing? Have a great day. Love you, and take care of each other. Please be blessed.